Baby, I love you. Fuck your own. You see it, Chioma? You, okay? I will marry you. Love in every word has taken social media by storm. My God. I used to think I was one of those people who could not be moved by peer pressure, but let me tell you, just throw in a mix of a Sunday afternoon without purpose, a little bit of hunger, a little bit of light, a little bit of internet, and you just find yourself going to YouTube and, let me just see what all the fuss is all about. And that's honestly how I ended up in love in every word. And yeah, I don't think I wasted my time, which is the most funny thing about this whole encounter, because I went for, let me just see. I'm not the biggest fan of YouTube movies, I must admit, even though I do watch a couple of them. I love YouTube web series, but movies, not necessarily. But this one actually did a bit to impress me. Okay, scratch that. It did a lot to impress me. Love in Every Word stars Uzor Arukwe and BamBam Adenibuyan as a star-crossed couple. BamBam plays Chioma, a woman who finds herself in Odogwu's orbit almost immediately after severing a 2-year relationship with Davis, her ex-boyfriend who's a deadbeat and can't figure out what he wants out of life. Uzor's Odogwu is a self-reassuring man. He knows what he wants. I'm not here to waste time. He's that kind of no-nonsense person. He sees Chioma, he wants Chioma, he makes his intention known, tells her that he knows how this is going to end. Very confident. An intentional man is what social media has been calling him. Well, even though some people have been calling him a simp, but yeah, we'll get to that. I think the biggest selling point for this film is the chemistry between the two actors. Uzor and BamBam's chemistry. Woof! It is something. It is something. I'm telling you. You know how people say that actors and actresses, spouses, they try. They try. I think this is one of those films that will spark that conversation again, because my God, every scene like them feels like butter being spread on a bread. It is soothing. It is easy. It is loving, And for a romance film, you actually need that to sell. Romance films where actors don't have chemistry, it is hard for them to bring their character to life. It's hard to believe in their love or whatever it is. For this is a journey towards love, a journey towards marriage. The end goal is declared from the beginning. I see you, I want to marry you, and so we know where this is going. And then the actors help us to sell it. It's a smooth sailing of love. Jeje, 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 and Wayoli till the very end. Oh, God, I beg. Oboli TV. You've done something on Nigerians. And it's easy. I haven't seen it myself. It's easy to understand why this film is trending. Although there are a lot of self-selling scenes, like the one where Odogwu takes Chioma to dinner and tells her, just talk, I want to listen. This dinner that I paid for, I'm here to listen. If you want to know more about me, take me out, spend your money, and I will talk. So scenes like that are definitely crafted to sell themselves, to share themselves to people. And, it's funny. Someone said something about YouTube films being very ludicrous and they wanting to watch them because they know that they are absurd, but they revel in it. And I think it's the same thing for me when I watch films that have crazy display of wealth. Odogwu, for example, comes to, after meeting Chioma the first time at her sister or cousin's wedding, he comes over to Lagos because the wedding took place in Anambra. He came to Lagos, they didn't exchange numbers, but he tracked her down to where she works. Comes in with this Ogene band, playing and disturbing everybody, and declares his intention to want to collect her phone number. And then Chioma's boss, who's been giving her issues, steps in and like, why are you constituting nuisance? And then in a very funny show of stuff, it's announced that Odogwu had bought the building earlier that day, and so he's the new landlord. And I mean, that's a very crazy display of wealth, and I like it. So just like people who watch stories on YouTube for the mindless fun, I love display of wealth for the mindless enjoyment that they give. So if I cannot snap my finger and buy a Lamborghini tomorrow, I should be able to watch and enjoy someone do it in film. That is what films are. They are a moment and medium of escape, escape from our own realities. And so this film does that very much for me. But above that, it is, like I mentioned, there's something really, really human about it. And I think that glory has to go to the way it is written. The writing is breezy. The writing is loving. The dialogue feels natural, almost like music to the ears. There's attention to detail almost in everything you see. How friends talk, how a mother and a daughter are bouncing off each other as regarding, marital advice and life advice generally, So there's just a bit of intentionality, and I really appreciated that. I liked it. I wanted it, you know. And so for the most part, while this film had my attention, it really did end that attention. It gave me respect. It respected me, respected my brains, even though, well, even with the money thing, there are people who do have money and splurge it that way. So it did. But I liked it for the most part. And so even in times when it didn't exactly do well, I was more forgiven because it had earned my respect. One of the ways in which this film doesn't do well is in how convenient things are. I suppose it's because I'm so uninitiated to films of this kind. It's too breezy for my liking. There's nothing this perfect. There is little to no plot twists. There is little to no conflicts. Now, don't get me wrong, there are conflicts. The major conflict is the fact that while Chioma is enjoying Odogwu's attention, she doesn't necessarily want to marry him and keeps stating more often than not that she doesn't like his accent, that he's not her type. And then by the end, we get this whole turnaround thing that tells us why he's not a type, and for what it's worth, it brings the story full circle. But for the most part, the story has this air of convenience that I didn't exactly appreciate. A good example of this at play would be where, okay, I've talked about where Odogwu shows up at the office. That was fun and cute, But when you dig it, something else about, and this is the scene where he comes, Chioma and her friends are shopping for diamond, and Odogwu walks into the same place. And she's like, Odogwu, you're here? And then he's like, oh, yes, I'm here. I get to buy a diamond for my niece. A very conveniently placed niece. One. But of all the diamond store in the world, he walks into the one where she's at that very instant. It is a bit too convenient for me. And also because I think at the point where this happened, I'm already sitting at a thin line about what Odogwu's intentions or actions are. Now, the film tells us his actions and intentions are pure. But as the human being I am, I can't help but read some level of undertone to it about things that seem like stalking and love bombing. And so when I see him walk into that diamond store at the same time, I would like just report that thought to me. Now, the film doubles down in telling us that Odogwu has no ulterior motive. It's, it's, if this were a more, when I say engaging, but a story who wasn't afraid to delve into conflict, it would definitely have explored that angle. But the film, like many things it glosses over, doesn't. It doesn't even think it twice that Odogwu is love bombing this babe with so much gifts, so much expensive stuff, even though she doesn't care for his money, but it's a nice to have. Like a mom tells everyone in the village wants this guy. Give him a shot. The film also is just like one of the other times when the film glosses over his age and why he's unmarried at that age. It doesn't even make a case for it. And now, I'm not saying it's an issue, but we all know that in real life, if a girl like Chioma in her prime, as beautiful as she is being courted by a man in his 40s, I think it was 45. One has to at least spring up that conversation of why is he unmarried at this age. But the film it just glosses over it, And so there are many things it glosses over it because it just wants to tell us and shoot for the stars that Odogwu has not gotten married because he hasn't seen what he liked. Chioma is unmarried because she tries to date men who are nothing like her father. Odogwu reminds her of her father way too much, and it just makes the case that these two are stark cross lovers, love themselves, and just have to let's watch as Chioma gets over herself and the things holding her back to agree. And they get married and possibly live happily forever after. And that's the case it makes. And for what it's worth, it's not bad, I'm just going to take the words of the person who said that they watch YouTube films not to dissect, analyze, but just to have a good time. Because did I have a good time? I certainly did. I know I did. If I start to deep it, I'm sure I would have and find a lot of faults, but we're not here for that. No, this is not one of those reviews. This is just to tell you guys how much of a good time I had with Odogwu Parara. And so you'll be sitting on the fence about watching Love in Every Word. Well, this is that sign that you needed to check it out. A friend of mine told me he was going to watch it in 2 times because of how much I was raving about it when it helped me fill in the gap in my very free Sunday afternoon. You know, he wasn't going to watch it before, and now he's like, okay, I'm going to watch it in 2x. You know, so at the very least, if that's what you want to do, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think you would have a bad time with it. You know, don't expect any ground changing thing or earth shattering twist, like I mentioned. There's none. There's none. It truly is none. You know, it's just a simple, breezy story. You watch, you're half asleep, you're half awake, you're hungry, you're not hungry. You know, you watch and pass the time, and then you move on with your life. Yeah. And I think I finally have a reason to watch more YouTube films. Definitely will be under recommendation, but I think I'm more open to seeing something else. Perhaps something that goes viral like this and wanting to check out for myself, whether it's indeed good. Who knows? I may just find purpose. I don't know. But yeah, if you've seen Odogwu Panara, When Love Happens, what's the title again? Love in Every Bite. Love in Every Word. Yeah. If you've seen Love in Every Word and you liked it, let me know in the comments. You've seen it and you don't like it because maybe you think Odogwu is too much of a sim for your liking. Social media is, I'm sure social media will finally come around to seeing this thing from that angle. I wouldn't expect anything less. But if that's the reason why you don't like it, let me know in the comments. If you think, to hell with everyone who doesn't like it, you like it, and that's fine. I mean, it's fine. Let me know as well. And yeah, I will just collate all your thoughts. Maybe it's what I'll use to pass another lonely, quiet afternoon. Who knows? But yeah, thank you so much. I will see you in the next video.